Я первый претендент, но UFC может делать все, что они захотят, да, условно говоря. Если я даже не подерусь за титул, если я достоин и буду всех выигрывать, они никуда не денутся, они дадут мне.
Sharing, like everybody has something that gets them going. Your job is to go find out what it is, but it's not any different in promotion. Ilia's first move for doing a fight.
The heat just got nuclear as Arman Tsarukyan didn't hold back while launching multiple savage verbal assaults on Ilia Topuria. Additionally, Arman acknowledged that while he's ranked as the #1 contender, the UFC ultimately makes the decisions. He added that even if he doesn't get the next title shot, as long as he keeps winning, the UFC will eventually have no choice but to give him his opportunity.
Я первый претендент, но UFC может делать все, что они захотят, да, условно говоря. Если я даже не подерусь за титул, если я достоин и буду всех выигрывать, они никуда не денутся, они дадут мне этот титульный бой.
However, Arman Tsarukyan said there's a 70% chance his next fight is against Ilia Topuria. He mentioned that the UFC hasn't presented him with any other opponents, and all conversations so far have been focused solely on the title fight.
Я думаю, что где-то 70%, что я буду драться за титул с Топурией.
То есть у Армана Царукяна на сегодняшний день другой информации нет, правильно?
Нету информации, они даже никого не предлагали, они сказали, что только разговоры идут о титульном бое.
Adding to that, Chael Sonnen pointed out subtle signs that make him believe the Arman Tsarukyan versus Ilia Topuria fight is already a done deal. He noted that Arman is already in training camp, and based on past patterns, Ilia's first move when a fight is set is to deny it publicly, which he recently just did.
Things. I mean, first off, I'm obviously coming to you with information that whether I should have or I shouldn't. Secondly, I was the best man in his wedding. His name's Daryl Christian, and he's the wrestling coach of Arman Tsarukyan. Third, I just spoke to Coach Cal. I wanted to come out and I wanted to film Chimaev training, and it turns out that Tsarukyan's in the room. And then a bigger tell also was what Ilia did a week ago, which is said, I don't want to fight. And the greats always, they don't even know they have it. They don't even, coaches will break them down. It's the same with technique. It's sharing, like everybody has something that gets them going. Your job is to go find out what it is, but it's not any different in promotion. Ilia's first move for doing a fight is to deny the fight.
To build on that, Chael pointed out that Ilia Topuria has only ever openly pushed for a fight with Paddy Pimblett, while consistently denying other matchups. He explained that Ilia follows a pattern where he'll deny a fight, let that narrative run for a couple of weeks, then eventually accept it.
The only person that he's ever openly said, I'll fight, is Paddy. Everybody else that he's getting ready to fight, he denies. It's just his approach. Anderson had one. Anderson would always deny the fight. He'd let that run for about 2 weeks. He would then accept the fight. He would let that run for about a month. He would then slip an injury report to the media where you think the fight is off. It's not going to happen. He'd get his run out of that, and then he'd come out and tell everybody I'm fine and it's on. I'm only sharing. That was his system. 100% of his fights, he built the same way. Ilia's not any different whether he knows it about himself or not. But Ilia's first move when he's going to fight a guy, aside from Paddy, is to say, I'm not fighting.
But according to Arman Tsarukyan, the UFC is still in the process of deciding who gets the next title shot. From his perspective, he believes he's the best choice, pointing to his #1 contender status as the clear reason why he should be next in line.
I mean, he's not. Nobody said he's getting the title shot.
Okay.
So they still figuring out who is fighting for the title, me, Gage, or Petty. But I know if they gotta put me because I'm #1 contender right now.
Interestingly, Rampage Jackson shared his thoughts, saying he would back Arman Tsarukyan if Chael Sonnen's claim about a matchup of Tsarukyan with Topuria turns out to be true.
Well, you know, I'm with Arman. If they fight each other, I'm with Arman on that. But Topuria, man, it's just going to be hard to bet against that guy.
Of course.
You know, based off his last 3 fights and what he's shown here, his wrestling and his grappling.
But Rampage, you've seen so many different generations of fighters. You've seen so many different champions. Is he that different compared to other things you've seen, or is it just his time?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anybody boxing so neat and so crisp and so tight.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: he is a little bit smaller, and Arman is a bigger guy, and Arman's elite. So we'll get to see, like, I mean, I believe Topuria's wrestling is elite.
Highlighting Arman Tsarukyan's ongoing social media jabs at Ilia Topuria, Twitter user Dovi shared Arman's Instagram post and wrote that Arman is not stopping with the Ilia call-out. Highlighting Arman's jab at Ilia for copying Conor McGregor, accusing Ilia of mimicking both tattoos and the public persona of McGregor. Arman wrote, "Who wants to let him know he looks like the Alibaba version of McGregor?" Interestingly, Khamzat Chimaev liked the post, which speaks volumes about who he supports. Furthermore, the Weasel pointed out that Ilia Topuria doesn't need a specific opponent to make his fights feel big. According to him, Ilia is the A-side in any matchup he's part of, while a fight with Paddy Pimblett might generate more hype and entertainment due to Paddy's personality. The Weasel emphasized that Ilia brings star power on his own, regardless of who's standing across from him.
Need Paddy. Ilia doesn't need a specific opponent to make his fight big. He is the A-side to his fights, although the Paddy Pimblett fight will make it a bigger fight than Arman Tsarukyan. Just because Paddy will talk a lot more, he'll play it up in the press conferences more and stuff. The fight is not as good, but a lot of the casual fans, they like the theatrics of it. They like the WWE element of it, and that's what Paddy Pimblett would bring to it. So I think it should be Ilia versus Arman. They could fight at the end of the year, early next year. Ilia doesn't fight that often. He averages like less than 2 fights a year. He fought once this year so far, 2 fights last year, 1 fight in 2023, 2 fights in 2022, and 1 fight in 2021, 2 in 2020. It seems like he averages like 1.5 fights a year. And Arman can beat him, man. Arman could win that fight. It's honestly the only fight in this division that is competitive for Ilia. Nobody else has given Ilia a good fight.
Furthermore, Chael Sonnen also weighed in, saying that if Arman Tsarukyan isn't chosen for the title shot, the next obvious option would be Justin Gaethje.
Hey, by the way, Gaethje is the right answer to every question that you have. If there's any question at 155, who should main event? Who should be villain? Who should we turn to? Who does the crowd like? Justin Gaethje is always the right answer, but 2 of his last 4 matches were title fights. So his biggest argument, and he's not wrong, but it's his number one argument as to why he should get it is, hey, look at all I've done here. I've only said yes, and now for a change, I'm asking for something, and I want it. The same as you wanted things before, and I always did them for you. That's a great argument, except 2 of his last 4 were for the belt. 3 of his last 7, well, I think it was 4 of his last 7.
Adding to that, Michael Bisping stated that if the UFC wants to stick to performance-based matchmaking, then Arman Tsarukyan is the clear choice for the title shot. He agreed with Chael Sonnen, saying that if Arman is passed over, the UFC will likely move forward with Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje instead.
Arman Tsarukyan is ranked number 1, okay? Whether he likes it, Ilia likes it, anyone likes it. If you want to do it on a merit-based system, Arman Tsarukyan is the guy. Simple as that. Now, if you want to ask me how this all plays out, I would like to say that Ilia Topuria fights Arman Tsarukyan, but I've got a feeling it won't be that. I think Justin Gaethje might just be the guy. I think he's the guy that gets to go up against Ilia Topuria. The UFC respect Justin Gaethje. He's been around for a very long time. He puts on nothing but exciting fights. Yes, he's coming towards the end of his career, and he's kind of digging his shoes in a little bit and then saying, hey, it's title fight or bust for me, and you know what? I think the UFC will give him what he wants.
Meanwhile, Arman Tsarukyan noted that Paddy Pimblett represents a more manageable matchup for Ilia Topuria. He believes that considering the available options, Topuria is likely to pursue the fight that promises the highest financial reward with the lowest risk involved. Arman also mentioned that if he were in Ilia's position, he would have called out Paddy as well, recognizing how favorable the match would be and the significant payday it could bring.
После боя он вызвал меня и Пэдди, и, конечно, Пэдди намного легче для него. Условно говоря, он чемпион, заработать легкие деньги, побить Пэдди для него лучше. Если
При этом Пэдди хайповый достаточно.
Да, если ему на стол поставят меня и Пэдди, он, конечно, Пэдди выберет, так как это легкие деньги для него. И, может быть, я тоже так же и поступил бы, если бы у меня была такая же возможность.
On that note, Arman Tsarukyan also launched a full-blown campaign on Twitter to pressure the lightweight champion into accepting the fight. Arman went on Twitter and wrote, "Imagine calling yourself a champion, but you're already looking for a way out. You can vacate it or I'll take it. Either way, it's mine." Challenging that narrative, Lucas Tracy questioned why Arman Tsarukyan doesn't step in and fight Paddy Pimblett instead of looking for the title if he truly believes it's an easy matchup. He argued that taking on Paddy would not only back up Arman's claims, but also add even more intrigue to a potential future clash with Ilia Topuria.
Arman Tsarukyan is talking all of this big talk against Paddy Pimblett, and he's saying that Pimblett isn't even that good, then why should you have a problem taking him on? If he's not that great, if this guy's a fraud, then you should have no problem beating him, right? And it's going to be a big fight. It's going to be a big fight. And think about it like this. If you beat Paddy Pimblett, that potential Ilia Topuria matchup gets that much bigger. And the UFC should want Arman Tsarukyan to take out a big name like Paddy Pimblett before booking him against Ilia Topuria, because the number 2 argument against Arman Tsarukyan getting the Topuria matchup is that nobody cares about Arman. That's what Paddy says about him. No one cares about Arman, lad.
Weighing in with his take on the current buzz around Ilia Topuria, Sean O'Malley admits that it's tough to see anyone beating him right now. Still, he acknowledged Arman Tsarukyan as one of the few who could pose a real threat.
Tough fight.
Yeah, I think it's hard to picture anybody beating Ilia right now. It's hard to visualize anybody just being able to go in the octagon with Ilia Topuria and beat him. Just how dominant he's been. Right. So it's realistically, they go get in that cage. It's like Arman definitely has a chance. He definitely has a shot. And in Ilia's mind, it's like, okay, Ilia's such a massive superstar right now. It's like, why fight Arman when you could fight Islam or, Gaethje's a bigger fight than Arman. I think Paddy's a bigger fight. So it just depends on where Ilia's head's at. Does he want to just go out there and, hey, I want the next best guy? I feel like he's kind of...
On the flip side, Eddie Alvarez shared that the matchup that intrigues him most is Arman Tsarukyan versus Ilia Topuria. He believes it could be the toughest test for both fighters, and emphasized that if the UFC wants to keep things real and competitive, Arman is currently the biggest challenge Ilia could face.
It was weird. That was my biggest Ronda story that was weird. I've actually never had somebody tell me how much they knew somebody from watching them on The Ultimate Fighter. I've gotten a few of those crazes. I get them on Twitter. Hey man, I got this thing going on, and only you would understand. I said, we've never met, and I've fallen for it. Give me your number. What's up? Anyway.
However, Alvarez also stated that making an Ilia vs Paddy fight right now is not a good business move. He highlighted that making that fight right now would mean eliminating one of their potential stars. He advised waiting on that matchup and building both fighters till they are massive stars.
Who started off pretty damn good. People could see right away, whoa, this guy's has only gotten better. Like each time he's fought, he's better. If you go and look at his fight with Nurmagomedov that was supposed to be a squash match, that officially went in 3 rounds to 2. And by the way, within the 2, and even the 3 that he lost, there was a lot of defensive wrestling done, which was a tool that Sandhagen himself has said that he needs to sharpen. And I just thought that it was incredible how...
Echoing Eddie's statements, Brendan Schaub clearly stated that Arman Tsarukyan presents the toughest challenge for Ilia Topuria at this moment. However, Schaub noted that from Ilia's standpoint, it's more strategic to seek out fights that are easier, but offer substantial rewards with minimal risk.
Hey, Ilia Topuria, is he dodging Arman?
I won't say he's dodging him. I think he's being a businessman. If I was his manager, I'd tell him the exact same thing. Arman's his toughest fight, and he's still a favorite in the fight, but it's his toughest fight. But if you're Ilia and you're his team, you're like, all right, Paddy or Arman? Arman's a problem. And Paddy, it is what it is. He has a little more clout than Arman. So even though Arman's ranked number 1, if I'm Ilia, give me Paddy. I make way more money. Let's say he fights Arman. Say you were to lose, then that Paddy fight, you ain't making the same money. So I'm doing exactly what Ilia's doing. Unfortunately for Arman, I'm doing exactly.
Adding fuel to the speculation, Joe Rogan shared his belief that the UFC will likely set up a fight between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria at some point, highlighting the growing tension and rivalry between them as a natural setup for a future showdown.
Worked. Listen, if you're that good.
And he's going to fight the Scouser? The Scouser kept saying, yeah. Scouser kept going, I want him. And then Nate's team were going like, he thinks he wants him, he doesn't want him.
It'll probably happen eventually because they hate each other and it'd be very marketable. I don't know if it's going to happen next.
This is my first year of following it. I'm starting that.
Adding another layer to the debate, Jose Delgado added that fans tend to underestimate shorter fighters, getting too caught up in height differences and overlooking the real threat, which often lies in their power and explosiveness.
It's about the height advantages of being like the taller guy and stuff, but there's a lot to being the shorter guy, being 5'7".
Thank you. Just even from the striking aspect of it all.
What the hell? What's going on here?
Moreover, lightweight contender Chase Hooper shared his thoughts, saying the UFC isn't looking to invest in a main event where there's a risk of a fighter pulling out at the last minute. He pointed to Arman Tsarukyan's perceived carelessness and lack of professionalism as the reason the UFC may be holding back on giving him the title shot. Hooper also criticized Arman's fighting style as not particularly exciting and made it clear he sees Ilia Topuria as the one who will get the job done.
Maybe for the fact just that Arman was, went all the way to weighing in and then pulled out, which sounded like Dana confirmed was like not a back injury, like he just wasn't going to make weight, so they decided to pull out. You definitely don't want to prepare for a championship fight and then just have your opponent pull out. Like, that's not very professional. I think that's kind of why UFC is punishing Arman a little bit. I don't know. He's not the most exciting style, but I think Topuria could still get it done.
However, Chase added that Ilia Topuria prefers to stay active and likely won't wait around for Islam Makhachev to finish his fight with Jack Della Maddalena. He suggested that if Arman Tsarukyan doesn't get the title shot, the UFC might turn to Justin Gaethje, but admitted he doesn't want to see Gaethje take another beating from yet another high-level opponent.
It seems like he likes to stay a little more active, so he'll probably fight somebody before. Maybe they'll throw in Gaethje.
Yeah.
Which, I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see Gaethje get, beat up again by another guy. Because, Gaethje's definitely very, look at what Max did to him, I think Topuria's just got the crazy power. So I don't want to see that happen, but I could see it being, put together.
Adding to that, Jared Gordon stated that if the UFC had to choose right now, they'd likely go with Paddy Pimblett because of the name value and hype he brings from a business standpoint. He added that the UFC might not be punishing Arman, noting that he was already the backup for the previously scheduled Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira fight.
But I think between him and Arman, they would probably pick Paddy because of just the name. So,
do they not like Arman? I feel like
I don't know. I mean, he had the title shot, and whatever happened with him happened. And it seems like maybe they kind of put him on, not the back burner. He was just the backup for Ilia's fight, wasn't he? So I mean, he's right there. I don't think they don't. Not that they don't like him, but they have
hold out to the last second.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, well, that's obviously not going to get you the.
That doesn't help you.
In addition, Arman Tsarukyan revealed that the UFC thanked him for making weight as the backup for the Ilia versus Charles fight. He mentioned that the UFC covered his training expenses, but emphasized that to show his dedication and commitment, he was willing to do it for free.
Ну да, я же поехал, сделал вес, просто был запасным.
Запасным?
Да, то есть
они это оценили?
Ну, конечно, они поблагодарили меня, что это я сделал. Они знают, что эти деньги, которые выходишь на замену, они мне ничего не дадут, и от этого я не стану богаче. То есть это деньги, которые просто перекроют мои тренировки.
But in the end, the race for the next lightweight title shot is only heating up, and Arman Tsarukyan is making it impossible to ignore his presence. From fiery callouts and relentless social media jabs to insider speculation, the noise surrounding Tsarukyan versus Topuria is growing louder by the day. If you enjoyed the video, show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a beat, and we shall see you in the next video with more exciting updates. In the meantime, let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below.